When your child throws, wraps, spins, or stacks, they're literally wiring their brain for future learning. We don't need to teach these things, we just need to notice and nurture them. Hello and welcome to Demystifying Child's Play. I'm Ruth Burko, and today we're continuing our special 3-part Christmas mini-series, A Playful Christmas, Understanding Your Child Through Play Schemas. 2 weeks ago, we talked about toys, tools, and triggers, how to choose toys that support schema play. Then we had a quick dive into how awesome water play is. And now today, we're diving into something that's probably on your mind as you spend more time at home over the Christmas period. What is your child's play actually telling you? Because if you've ever watched your toddler ignore the expensive gift and play with the box instead, you're not alone. And that moment says something really important about the way children learn. As always, you can find the show notes for this episode, including a list of schema supportive toy ideas at playschemas.com/blog. Okay, so let's get comfortable. Whether you're out on a walk, catching a rare moment of quiet, or multitasking around the house, let's dive in and explore everyday play that makes no sense until you understand play schemas, that is. Okay, imagine with me, it's Saturday morning, you're half awake, and you sit watching your child doing something that has you puzzled. Is it that you're more asleep than awake, or is it completely baffling? Maybe they're throwing toy cars across the room, putting all the blocks into a handbag, or spinning until they fall over, or wrapping their teddy in a blanket again and again and again. It can be tempting to think, why do they keep doing that? Why don't they just play properly? Or even saying to them, stop doing that, I'm trying to wake up. But I'm here to tell you, your child is playing properly. In fact, their brain is learning something very specific through those repeated actions. They're exploring what's called play schemas. Once you start noticing these patterns, you'll never unsee them. Okay, so just quickly, what are play schemas? Put simply, play schemas are those repeated patterns of play. They're the way young children make sense of the world, not through explaining things to them, but through their own action and exploration. For example, when a child does keep throwing their toys, they're exploring trajectory, how things move through space. When they fill empty bags, boxes, or buckets and then move them and dump them out again, they're exploring transportation. When they wrap things up or cover themselves, that's enveloping. When they build towers and knock them down, they're experimenting with disconnection and connection. Each of these patterns is a vital part of how children's brains wire up their understanding of how the world works. When we can see play through this lens, everything starts to make so much more sense. That constant throwing isn't naughty. That tipping everything out of the toy box isn't messy. That wrapping up of dolls and layers of blankets isn't random. Each one is purposeful. Each one is your child thinking, testing, experimenting, learning, and this understanding changes everything. It moves us from frustration to curiosity, from stop doing that to I see what you're learning. If we look at the science behind this in simple terms, from a developmental point of view, schemas are about building natural connections. When children repeat actions, they're strengthening brain pathways, the foundation for maths, science, problem solving, and gross and fine motor skills, which is the big and small movements. So when your child throws, wraps, spins, or stacks, they're literally wiring their brain for future learning. We don't need to teach these things, we just need to notice and nurture them. The easiest way to start is simply by observing, and soon you'll be able to read the language of play. So my challenge to you is pick one play session this week, sometime maybe before dinner, after dinner, middle of the day, whenever works for you, and ask yourself, what do I notice my child doing again and again and again? Are they more interested in movement, containment, connecting, or transforming things? What's drawing their attention? You might see patterns across different settings, like your child always carrying things from one side of the house to the other, or always climbing to get a better view. That's their brain saying, this is the kind of learning I need right now. Through all of this, we're working on reframing our frustrating moments. Understanding schemas also helps us to stay calm with this tricky behaviour, because when we know the why something is happening, you can support it safely instead of fighting against it. If your child keeps throwing food, you can say to yourself, okay, I know they're exploring trajectory. Let's give them beanbags or softballs to throw instead before dinner so they can get that out during dinner time. Or if they're obsessed with filling and emptying your handbag, you could think, okay, they're in a transportation schema. Let's make a treasure basket that they can pack and unpack and pack and unpack. Or just give them their own handbag. If they're constantly spinning or tipping upside down, that's the orientation and rotation schemas. They're learning about how their body moves in space. So suddenly these moments become learning opportunities rather than misbehavior. When we as parents understand play schemas, we start to trust their play again. We stop needing to fill every moment with structured activities, and we stop comparing our child's play to Pinterest. We can start to feel confident that our child's play, even the messy, chaotic kind, is exactly what they need. So this week, I invite you to become a play detective. Just watch. Notice what your child keeps coming back to. Then, instead of directing your play, follow it. If they're pouring, give them more things to pour. If they're climbing, find safe ways to climb. If they're wrapping, offer them scarves or blankets. That could be when they're pulling all the tissues out of the tissue box. Give them something they can pull out or play with. You're meeting them where they're at, where the learning is most alive. Okay, because when we read our child's play, we stop trying to change it and we start celebrating it. We see the deeper story behind the throwing, the stacking, the wrapping, the spinning, and in that understanding, we find connection. Because when it comes down to it, it's not just play, it's their communication. Okay, you can find the show notes for today's episode, including examples of each schema and how to support them, at playschemas.com/blog. And if you'd like to dive deeper, head to playschemas.com/free to download my free guide of the 10 most common play schemas. You'll also see a Christmas freebie there. It's the perfect starting point to help you see your child's play through a whole new lens. Okay, next week, we'll talk about something that's probably on every parent's mind right now, toys. We'll explore how to choose toys that actually support your child's learning. Okay, that's us for today. And remember, today is a great day to play and observe. So make sure if you do see something, flip me a DM on Instagram or below this, because I would love to hear what you've seen, whether it's something you're not sure and I can help you problem solve, or we can celebrate it together.